Hi everyone, myself Mr. Ramesh, C Batch Chemistry Faculty, Chaitanya Techno Schools. You are going to learn today about classification of elements. We are going to learn about classification of elements. This chapter is very important for AP, TAs, CBSE and state boards, and also important for 7th standard Techno, C4, M2, M3, MPL and IPL classes. Every year 3 to 4 marks appears from this topic in the board examinations, and 2 or 3 marks in the competitive exams like AS Rao, INTSO, CHAT and other Olympiad examinations. So therefore, this chapter is very important for us. So I request all of you to listen carefully. Now we will get into the lesson, that is classification of elements. In the 9th standard we have learned that matter is classified into compounds, elements, mixtures. So elements contain atoms of only one type, atoms of only one type. As the number of elements discovery increased, we see here in 1661 there were only about 13 elements. By 18th century there were about 30 elements. 1865 63 elements, and by 1940 there are about 108 elements. Till date we have 118 elements. This is a brief history as to how these elements keep on increasing as the discoveries of these elements were increased. The scientists had one difficulty. As the discovery of the elements increased, they started to gather more and more information about the elements and their properties. So the scientists found it difficult to organize and keep the information known about their properties in memory. So they found it difficult, and they were looking for a method or a pattern where they can arrange and organize them all in a simple pattern where the study of their properties and their characteristics becomes easy. So here the need to classify them has arrived. So they were looking for some similarities, or they were looking for some properties where they can compare and then keep them in a particular pattern, and then they can study their properties. So this was the need for the classification of the elements. Imagine if you and your friends find an old map to a treasure. Suppose this is the map that you have, and this map tells us where to go, and if we have this map we can very clearly and very distinctively, with a clarity in mind, we can go to the place where we want to reach. Say for example you want to go to Delhi here, Delhi. So we know what all the routes to be covered, and then how to reach, and then what to be done. In the same way, there is a chaos and no clue among the society of the scientists of chemistry. They have lot of information about the elements and their properties, but they are clueless as to how to study and utilize their properties. So as they were looking for a particular pattern, the early attempt was to classify them into some particular pattern. So, the first one is all the known elements. Now, we see here if these are the elements we take. Now, I have few colored coins here, and these are all the elements, and these elements are basically classified into two types. Okay, one is the metals and the other one is the non-metals. Now, I am going to do the classification. Of these group of elements, all the elements that I have in my hand. So, when it comes to the classification of elements, let us understand this word, what is meant by classification. When we use the word classification, it is nothing but sorting or grouping of elements. So, arranging of elements into different groups on the basis of similarities in their properties. When we talk about the properties here, we talk about the physical and chemical properties. Okay. So, basically we are saying here classification is nothing but sorting or grouping of elements. So, the first attempt is all the elements are classified into metals and non-metals. Now, you see here I have few elements in my hand. Now, I am going to classify them as the metals and the non-metals based on their similarities. So, here in similarity I mean to say on the basis of the colors, because the colors are very distinct, I can classify them into different groups. So, basically I am taking the red as the metals, okay, and blue as the non-metals. Okay. So, when we see this here, I have few metals here and then I have the non-metals. So, basically all the known elements were classified into metals and non-metals into two groups. But then the limitation of this classification is it had no place for metalloids, metals and non-metals. So, because of this difficult, so the basic classification of the elements into metals and the non-metals has been failed. As the early attempt to classify the elements into metals and non-metals failed due to lack of place for the metalloids. Next, the German scientist Dobner has taken up to classify the then known elements. He arranged the then known elements in the increasing order of atomic masses into group of 3. So, group of 3 elements is known as the triads. So, we have Dobner's law of triads. Dobner's law of triads defined as the atomic mass of the middle element. Is the average of the first and the third. I repeat, the atomic mass of the middle element is approximately the average of the first and the third element. Now, we have a first triad, that is the lithium, sodium and potassium. Lithium atomic mass is 6.9 and that of potassium atomic mass is 39.0. As for the law, if you add the atomic mass of the first element and that of the third element and take the average, divide by 2. So, we are going to get 22.95, which is approximately 23. So, 23 is the atomic mass of sodium. So, like this he has arranged the elements which showed some similarities. Now, even if you write the electronic configuration for this, for lithium, sodium and potassium, we see that the valence electron is only 1. The valence electron is only 1, and they do react with the hydrogens to form the hydrides and oxygen to form the oxides. So, like this the elements which have shown the similarities are being grouped together as one, and a group of 3 elements we call them as the triads. Let us take another example. We have chlorine, bromine and iodine. These are of the non-metals. The earlier one what we have seen, lithium, sodium and potassium are the metals. Similarly, he tried for the non-metals. Chlorine 35.5, bromine 79.5, iodine 126.9, and if we take the average of the first and the third element, that is the chlorine and the iodine, 35.5 plus 126.9 divided by 2, we get 79.9, which is the average atomic mass of the bromine. Like that, he also tried with the alkali metals, the alkaline earth metals. First we have seen the alkali metals here, and then for the alkaline earth metals. So, calcium 40.1, strontium 87.6, barium 137.6, and when we take the average of the first and the third, we get the average atomic mass of the strontium, that is 78. The average atomic mass of the strontium is 87.6. So, like this he has tried for the many elements that are known to him, but when he tried for the fluorine, chlorine and bromine, so this has not shown the similarity. Okay, as we have seen the work of the Daubigny in the law of triads, he too had some limitations. So, those limitations are the first one. The first limitation is that all the known elements at that time could not be arranged in the form of triads. This was the major limitation of the Daubigny. He could not arrange all the known elements at that time into triads. The second one is the law failed for very low masses or for very high masses elements. In case of fluorine, chlorine and bromine, the atomic weight of chlorine is not an arithmetic mean of the atomic weight of fluorine and bromine. So, this is another limitation. And the third, as the techniques have improved for measuring atomic masses accurately, the law was unable to remain strictly valid. Because of these limitations, Daubigny's classification of elements into triads has not been completely used. So, scientists were looking for a some more better method or a pattern of classifying the elements. But one thing that definitely has improved is he has given a clue or a correlation between the atomic masses of the elements and their chemical properties. With Daubigny's limitation of arranging the known elements into triads, English scientist Newlands have taken up this task of classifying the elements into different groups. So, let us see the Newlands law of octaves. Newlands law of octaves. He arranged the known elements in the increasing order of atomic masses and called the law of octaves. It is also known as Newlands law of octaves. The two basic characteristics on which his classification based were: it contained elements from hydrogen to thorium. Second, properties of every eighth element were similar to that of the first element. So, based on these two characteristics, he has classified the elements into 7 groups. So, each group is nothing but a horizontal row. Okay, let us look at the Newland's periodic table. When we say here periodic table, it is a tabular form of the arrangement of the elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses. So, here Newlands have followed the same, arranged the elements in the increasing atomic masses with the correlation with their properties. So, he has strictly followed the musical chords, octaves, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, and again eighth one is the repetition of the first one, that is the sa. So, as he has arranged the elements in a increasing atomic masses, then he has seen some similarities and then a correlation between the atomic masses and the chemical properties of the elements. So, he has arranged them into the groups. He has arranged them into the groups, the vertical columns we have. But what he has done is, he has arranged all the elements which are having the similar properties in a horizontal row. So, we see here hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, like this. So, as he was arranging it, he was so obsessed with the octaves, and he was only concentrating on arranging the elements based on the similarities. So, for that what he has done, whenever there was no place, so he started keeping the two elements together in a slot, two elements in a slot. So, we see here cobalt and nickel are being placed together, and then we also see here C and then the La, that is the lanthanum, are being placed together. Lighter elements is only applicable only to the lighter elements having atomic masses up to 40 U, that is up to calcium. So, he was able to arrange this up to the calcium. Later, the similarities were not observed. So, there were some dissimilarities in the elements. So, that means his classification was only valid up to the calcium having the atomic mass 40. And the second one limitation he had is, some similar elements have been separated from one another, while some dissimilar elements have been placed in the same column. Now, if you see here, the Fe is there. Fe has a similar properties like that of the cobalt and nickel, but it is being kept far away from the nickel and the cobalt. So, this is another failure. And you also see here cobalt and nickel are entirely different from the fluorine, chlorine and then bromine. These are the non-metals, whereas these are the metals. So, like this he has mixed up, kept some similar elements have been separated from one another, while some dissimilar elements have been placed in the same column. So, these were his limitations. So, because of these limitations, now the scientists began to think more seriously or much more better pattern of classifying the elements, so that studying the properties of the elements becomes easy and very convenient. Okay, as we have discussed about the classification of the elements and their early attempts, we have seen the Dubinier's law of triads and we have seen the Newland's law of octaves. Now, let us see some important questions based on these topics. I have 4 questions here. First one is, what relation about elements did Dubinier want to establish? So, we know that from the discussion, Dubinier always wanted to establish the relationship between the atomic weight and their properties. Atomic weights and their properties. So, therefore, the answer is Daubigny wants to establish a relationship between the atomic weights and their properties, that is the physical and the chemical properties. Now, coming to the second question, what were the limitations of Daubigny's? The answer is Daubigny was able to arrange the elements into triads only few. He could not arrange all the elements known at that time into triads. So, that was his limitation. Next question, coming to the third question here, what were the limitations of the Newland's law of octaves? This Newland's law of octaves was only limited to the up to calcium and is only for the lighter element, that was the first one. Second one, it was not valid for the lighter mass and the heavy mass elements like the fluorine, chlorine and the bromine, that was the second limitation. The third limitation was it was not able to valid strictly for the development of the techniques that have been taken place latestly. So, these were the three limitations of the Newland's. And now, going to the fourth one, which is mostly given in the competitive exam, question number 2 and 3 are mostly appears in the board examinations. Question number 2 and 3 mostly appears in the board examinations of AP, TS, of CBSE and then the state boards. But the question number 4, atomic weight of X is 10 and atomic weight of Z is 20. What is the atomic weight of Y? So, this is a very familiar type of question that is being seen in the competitive exams. So, answer for this is, according to Daubigny's law of triads, the atomic mass of the middle element is the average or is equal to the sum of the first and the third. So, here X is given, that is 10, Z is given, that is 20. So, we add up 10 plus 20 and divide by 2. So, we get 15 here. So, the average atomic weight of the Y, the middle element, is 15.
విద్యార్థులను టాపర్స్ గా ర్యాంకర్స్ గా తీర్చిదిద్దడంలో శ్రీ చైతన్య స్కూల్ ఎప్పుడూ వారితో ఉంటుంది. 9th నుంచి 10th గ్రేడ్ కి ప్రమోట్ అయ్యే తెలుగు రాష్ట్రాల విద్యార్థులతో పాటు ఇతర రాష్ట్రాల విద్యార్థులకు మరియు CBSE విద్యార్థులకు ఒక గొప్ప అవకాశం. శ్రీ చైతన్య స్కూల్ టీవీ క్లాసెస్, శ్రీ చైతన్య స్కూల్ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్, శ్రీ చైతన్య స్కూల్ ఆన్లైన్ ఎగ్జామ్స్, ఇంకా శ్రీ చైతన్య స్కూల్ ర్యాంక్ గురు యాప్.
6, 7, 8, 9 తరగతుల విద్యార్థులకు NTSEతో పాటు జాతీయ స్థాయిలోని అన్ని ఒలింపియాడ్స్ కు, IIT మరియు నీట్ ఫౌండేషన్ కు ఈ ప్రోగ్రాంలు ఎంతో ఉపయోగకరం. వివరాలకు www.srichaitanyaschool.net